Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno insists on his call for Vice President Leni Robredo to back out of the presidential race, but Senator Ping Lacson is distancing himself from Moreno's move. Robredo remains unfazed and urges her supporters to focus on the campaign. And why was Senator Manny Pacquiao a no-show at the joint press conference with his fellow presidential candidate, Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon, and Vice Presidential candidate Lito Atienza joins us live. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno maintains there's nothing wrong with his call for Vice President Leni Robredo to withdraw from the presidential race. It's a first in this campaign season for a presidential candidate to publicly call on a rival to back out. It happened during Sunday's joint press conference by Moreno, Senator Ping Lacson, and former Defense Secretary Norberto Gonzales. Moreno says he's just giving Robredo a taste of her own medicine after receiving withdraw Isko calls from her camp. Let's go straight to the source of the story. First off, we have Senate Minority Leader and Liberal Party Vice Chairman Franklin Drilon. Senator, it's good to see you again. Welcome to the source. And maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Thank you, Pinky, for having me this morning.
Okay, so let's talk about the press conference that happened last Sunday. What's your view on that particular press con last Sunday among three presidential candidates?
You know, Pinky, among us lawyers, there's a rule of evidence which says res ipsa loquitur, let the thing speak for itself. And I think the whole nation saw how you know that press conference that they called, and just immediately after the conference, it showed that somebody hijacked the purpose of the conference, as Senator Tito Soto, Senate President, and Senator Ping Lacson said. There was a script, there was a statement which they signed, which basically said, we will continue to fight to the end. We want to give our people every opportunity to select the next leader. But that script was disregarded, and one of the candidates simply asked for the withdrawal of the vice president from the presidential race. That was not part of the agreement that they signed. And as I said, let the thing speak for itself, as we say among us lawyers. Mm-hmm. Was it a good political move? I think it is unanimous, many political observers said that if anyone benefited from that press conference, that one was not in the room. Mm.
So none of them benefited from that press conference, is what you're saying?
None of them benefited from that press conference. I could see a certain degree of disappointment on the part of Senator Ping Lacson and Senator Tito Soto with what had happened. Senator Soto, in fact, said he was just invited as an observer, as a witness, and unfortunately, that press conference included an episode which was not planned and was not agreed upon. That says a lot about the unity of the people in that room. So
when you say that talks about the kind of unity there is, or what was absent in that room, how are you supposed to interpret that? Was there unity? Was there no unity among the gentlemen there?
Obviously, there was none, from what I understand. The purpose was to project that those people present in the press briefing was going to reiterate that they will not withdraw from the
Right.
presidential race. Fine. Unfortunately, one of the participants hijacked that purpose and started attacking the vice president, which was really not part of the plan, and that is why Senator Lacson dissociated himself from that call.
So let's name names. I mean, it is the obvious. So when you said somebody hijacked that, obviously that's presidential candidate Isko Moreno, because the goal, as you were mentioning a while ago, was to reiterate their position that no one was going to withdraw from the presidential race. And then subsequently, you were saying na hinijack nga po ito dahil nadagdag si withdraw Leni. Let's just go to a point where Isko Moreno, presidential candidate Isko Moreno, during an interview, I believe, the next day, said this, parang ano ito, this is a social injustice. Kapag malaking tao daw po, ang nangbubuli, okay lang. Pero kapag ordinaryong tao, nangangatwiran, bastos o masama na. So let's bring this back to the time that Vice President Leni Robredo decided to run for the presidency. And then at some point, the camp or the supporters of Leni Robredo was urging Isko Moreno to withdraw. Nagkaroon po ng hashtag na with Isko withdraw. So parang sinasabi niya ngayon, bakit kapag ako na ang humihingi nito o nagre-request nito or saying this ay minamasama. Giya't ginawa daw po sa kanya. Just a reaction on that.
First, I never participated in that. And to me, Pinky, calls for withdrawal is part of the reality in a campaign. Unfortunately, in this particular case, the other personalities like Norberto Gonzales and Tito Soto and Ping Lacson were brought in the same table, and it is made to appear initially, at least, that the four of them were there, the five of them were there making that call. So that is why it got muddled. That is why it got muddled, because the original purpose, as articulated by Senator Ping and Senator Soto, is that they were just going to reiterate that they are going to fight this campaign, this contest to the last. And as I said, unfortunately, the good mayor hijacked the opportunity and started dishing out I would suspect his frustration over the way the campaign has been going on, because during that week, I think there were certain big groups who switched to Vice President insofar as their support is concerned. And I could understand his frustration, the frustration of Mayor Isko, but it was not correct.
Okay. Apart from Mayor Isko Moreno, let's go to former Defense Secretary Norberto Gonzales. He was interviewed on The Source also yesterday. I wasn't the one who interviewed him. I believe it was Ria. But basically, he said that it seems that whatever number two is doing isn't working. But let's hear it from him during that interview yesterday. Let's play that soundbite, please.
Ang layo ng number 2 at saka number 1, medyo malaki. Sa labanan ngayon, ang gusto na ipakita ng mga strategies natin ay dalawa na lang ang naglalaban. Ngayon, doon sa dalawang naglalaban, napakalayo ng diferensya, baka matalo yung number. Ayaw din ang matalo yung number 2 sana eh. Pero parang hindi siya, whatever she's offering, nalaban sa number 1, parang hindi nag-i-effect eh. Wala kang kwentahin mo yung lahat ng hawak namin, idagdag man namin sa kanyang lahat. Talo pa rin eh. Kaya sabi namin, baka may a new initiative may have to be thought of. Baka mali yung number 2 para lumaban sa number 1. What we are really looking at is a new initiative that might beat number 1.
All right. I hope you heard that loud and clear. Senator. So basically, he was saying yung kung anong ino-offer ng number 2, and let's just name them already. Vice Presidential candidate Vice President Leni Robredo, sabi po niya, baka hindi po yung ino-offer ni Vice President Leni Robredo ay nagiging effective. Kailangan daw ng bagong inisyatibo.
Alam mo, Pinky, 30 taon na ako nasa politika. Ngayon ko lang narinig ang ganong klaseng theory na dapat mag-withdraw ang number 2 dahil lang sa mukhang hindi siya umaangat. What about Mr. Gonzales himself? I think he has less than 1%. So it's coming from him. It's a little funny and it's a little awkward. And having said that, I don't think there's any validity or any sense in what Mr. Gonzales said. Absolutely nonsense. And as Vice President Leni Robredo said, let us focus on our campaign. We are behind in the surveys. We have a lot of work to do. Let not these kinds of statements distract us. And that's what Vice President Leni and the campaign staff is doing at this point.
Okay, we need to take a very short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines with Senator Franklin Drilon. We will be right back. The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon. Senator, as Vice Chairman of the Liberal Party, have there really been efforts to have the rest of the gentlemen withdraw from the presidential race? Because if we were also to go back to that press conference and even interviews prior to that, there have been some gentlemen who were saying, such as Senator Ping Lacson, that pinapa-withdraw po siya. Tapos ganun din po yung ilan sa kanila. It's almost the same narrative basically. So that could have hit I don't know, a sensitive bone in their body, or not even that. But bakit kami magwi-withdraw at bakit kami pinipilit o pinagsasabihan na kaming mag-withdraw? Ibig ko lang sabihin, sir, nakakasama. Sigurado po ng loob yun sa kanila.
Wala pong puwipilit dahil yung pag-atras po, yan po ay desisyon personal ng kandidato. Wala po makakapilit kahit kanino man. At karapatan po ng sinumang humarap sa taong bayan at sabihin, dapat ako maging Pangulo. Ngunit yung mga pagsasabi na, siguro baka pwede na kayong umatras dahilan sa para magkaroon ng pagkakataon na mag-one-on-one si Leni at si Bongbong, wala po sa akin po kasama sa politika yan. At ito sasabihin ko, in 1992, there was a very intense negotiation between President Ramos and Senator Joey Salonga for Joey Salonga to withdraw. Kaya nang hindi natuloy because we could not agree as to the Vice President. So noon pa, I'm citing political history, which I myself participated in. This discussion of one candidate withdrawing and endorsing the other is part of the political landscape. Like, you know.
You don't see anything wrong with that, basically, sir.
Sorry?
You don't see anything wrong with that, basically. That's what you're saying.
Yes. In fact, the Vice President early in the game sought out a unity ticket, and what did that tell us? That only one the drive was to have only one candidate and the withdrawal of the others. So you know, hindi naman namin tinatago yan eh, and it's not a secret. It's not wrong to do it. It's part of the political landscape. It's part of the campaign.
But Senator, it could be part of the campaign. But if you have a presidential candidate wherein his reaction, Senator Ping Lacson, it did not sit well with him dahil nga ang sinabi daw sa kanya, to whom he named, kung sino lumapit sa kanya, si Jun Simon, sabi niya, ano ba naman yun? Ipapa-withdraw ako para magsama si Leni at si Soto pag mag-withdraw daw po siya. And in fact, a similar call was made also kay Senator Ping Lacson by Vice Presidential candidate Lito Atienza. But let's talk about that. There's nothing wrong with that, you're saying, but obviously to a presidential aspirant such as Ping Lacson, that did not sit well with him.
Well, it's his own opinion. I do not blame Senator Ping Lacson for feeling slighted. But to me, this should be taken as part of the electoral process. Yes, I was present when Senator Lacson, Senator Soto, Vice President Leni, and I discussed a unity ticket sometime in September, just before the filing of the certificates of candidacy. So it has been going on. It is not as if it happened yesterday, insofar as this electoral process is concerned. So, again, I would say I can concede and understand the feelings of Senator Lacson, but objectively, it is not something new. This is done, as I said, in 1992, when during the presidential race, one of the between then Secretary Fidel Ramos and Senate President Joey Salonga, the matter of the withdrawal of Senator Joey Salonga was discussed extensively. I was there. So this is not new, the matter of asking, of attempting to have a common slate.
Okay. Let's talk about this, though. You have Isko Moreno saying, kung ayaw niyo sa dilaw, ayaw niya sa pula, nandito ako. Sabi po ni Senator Ping Lacson noong Sunday, this is not just about Leni Robredo, this is not just about Bongbong Marcos, this is not about Leni Robredo, this is not about Bongbong Marcos, but nandito din po kami. Sabi niyang ganon. Si Norberto Gonzales po sinabi, papaanong mangyayari kung bumalik ang mga Marcos. To that effect, meron po siyang sinabing ganon. Here's the thing, sir. Because of what happened last Sunday, is unity among number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You think, may pag-asa pa ho kaya yan?
Sa akin, yan ang ideal situation, an ideal endgame, an ideal situation on election day. But being realistic about it, that is far that that scenario may not happen. And Leni has Vice President Leni has directed the campaign staff to stay focused, because we should be prepared to seek the people's mandate with several others who are not identified with the administration. So that's it. That's how an electoral process goes. That's how democracy goes. The people are given a choice.
Last question, Senator. So it's about 3 weeks left until Election Day. The Pulse Asia survey should come out end of April, so sometime around April 30. What numbers are you looking at for the Vice President that will come out then?
Well, admittedly, the survey is a concern to us. But what raises our there is something that was that could not be captured in the surveys, to my mind, and that is the passion of the supporters of Vice President Robredo. I have never seen this kind of a passion and support since the time of President Cory in 1986, and I am sure that that kind of a passion is not reflected in the surveys, and that's why we will continue to focus on, particularly on this aspect, the volunteers, the Robredo People's Council all over the Philippines. Yes, we do not have the endorsement of the local political leaders, but we have the endorsement of many people's organizations. And let's see what happens come May 9.
Senator Franklin Drilon, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you very much, Pinky, for having me again.
And coming up, why was Senator Manny Pacquiao a no-show in the joint press conference? Pacquiao's running mate, Congressman Lito Atienza, joins us live after the break. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Buhay Party List Representative and Vice Presidential Candidate Lito Atienza. Congressman, welcome back to The Source. Let me already ask my first question. Was presidential candidate Manny Pacquiao supposed to attend that joint press conference last Sunday?
If you ask me now, and if you ask me before the actual comedy show that we nations witnessed, I never doubted the wisdom of Manny Pacquiao. He will not join a comedy show like that. Sabi nga niya, nung pagkatapos niya, kasi tinanong ko, bakit di ka dumating? Sabi niya, bakit ako pupunta ron? Naramdaman ko na iba yung sinasabi, iba yung agenda. So, I knew it was going to turn out to be a parang Three Stooges show. Gusto nilang hampasin yung kalaban, ang hinampas sila, pare-pareho sila na nagampasan ng sarili nilang ulo. Tawa na tawa si Manny. Nagtatawa lang kayo ni Senador Manny Pacquiao sapagkat hindi ninyo ginawa yung tama.
Ano ho yung ibig
And
niyo
Manny
sabihin?
Pacquiao will never be part of anything like that.
Yeah. Congressman, what do you mean by when he said iba ang sinasabi at iba yung agenda? Ano po yung kanyang nakita na dapat sabihin at ano po yung agenda na lumabas?
Ang pang-engganyo, the bait that was used for everybody to get together. We have to do something about the campaign because Bongbong Marcos seems to be in control of everything. We need to reshuffle. We need to do this, do that. Everybody should be self-sacrificing. At that point, okay si Manny. Oh, sige. Ano kailangan gawin para sa bayan, gawin natin lahat. Pero hindi si Marcos na naging topic eh. Yung takbo lamang ng opening remarks and takbo ng pulong ay nakikita mo ng si Leni Robredo ang target. Hindi kasali si Manny Pacquiao dyan. Manny Pacquiao
Go ahead.
to protect the nation, he will be part of that. But just to put down one person, especially one who is trying her best to overtake the number one, and then you make an issue out of it. Hindi mo naman makuha yung number one. All this time you are trying. So, magbitiw ka na. Hindi maganda yun. Pacquiao will not be as cruel as that, and I am proud of it. Sabi ko nga, I am correct when I denied, even without talking to you, Pacquiao will not show his face in that meeting.
You knew that, huh? Were you invited as
Said that
well?
No. I said that before the meeting. Pacquiao will not be the, sabi ng mga media, nobody, he says he's on his way. Hindi pupunta yan. Nakita niyo ang takbo ng meeting eh. Hindi naman na uniting the opposition to defeat or to protect the national interest. It is a some kind of a get-together to get people to go against the number two aspirant. And Pacquiao will not be part of that.
And
It shows political wisdom.
Opo. And
It shows political wisdom and integrity.
And you
Hindi
personally,
susulit
yeah.
at hindi hindi kaladkarin si Pacquiao. Now
So-
you know him better.
So it shows you said two things, no? I mean, apart from other things, wisdom and political maturity for your presidential candidate. Vice presidential candidate Lito Atienza, the question now is, there have been calls, of course, even for yourself. You do not want a Marcos to return back to power. You have three presidential candidates who were together last Sunday. But, you know, let's also put in what Senator Ping Lacson kept saying. This is not about Leni, this is not about Marcos, or this is about Leni, this is about Marcos. Isko Moreno saying, you know, there is a third. Andito kami, yun ang kanilang sinasabi. Senator Ping Lacson, Roberto Gonzales was saying, nandito kami. The question now is, may pag-asa pa ho ba? Isasantabi ko na po muna sila. Ito pong Pacquiao Atienza tandem. What is your stand right now? 3 weeks left till election day. Is there any consideration, even an inch of consideration, to withdraw, to join someone else, or to endorse another candidate?
I'm not giving up on the spiritual, patriotic sense of my friends in the political field. Yung mga presidential candidates, vice presidential candidates, merong mga pagmamahal sa Panginoon Diyos at sa bayan ng mga yan. So up to the last minute, we can witness what I have said before, a reshaping of the structural setup in the campaign. Kailangan magkaroon ng ng pagbabago. Obviously, the combination today of the tandems are not attracting popular support. Kaya ako sinuggest, maybe a Pacquiao-Soto partnership might just excite the nation. And then I was asked, would you be willing to give way if that happens? Yes, by all means. I will not shy away from a decision that will help the nation from saving all of us from the Marcos juggernaut. Otherwise, para tayong mga puppet, pinaglalaro-laruan na lang tayo at this point because they have already set up, since they have started working months ago, set up the machinery of delivering the presidency to Bongbong Marcos.
But you're only open, sir, to a Pacquiao-Soto tandem. My question is, would you be open to another tandem?
You know, I'm being very frank. I chose a man whom I believe in as the best. I'm not choosing the second best, but the least evil. I chose the best available candidate. That's Manny Pacquiao. Yung mga noong araw, mga pagpili, lesser evil, o kaya second best. No, Pacquiao is the best. The whole world admires this man. And here we are, having a chance to make him our leader, parang ipagpapalit natin sa isang hindi nagbabayad ng buwis, nagsisinungaling sa kanyang declaration, hindi nag-aral, ayaw sumunod sa tamang asal, hindi sumasali sa pag-uusap ng mga kandidato. Bakit tayo nasiraan ng ulong katulad nito? Kaya ang hiningi ko sa ating mga kababayan, at handa akong gumawa ng anumang kontribusyon ko, tulong ko, na gisingin ang bayan, gisingin natin. Saan tayo papunta with Bongbong Marcos?
All right.
Nowhere, because he's coming from nowhere.
Thank you. Okay, sir, we've run out of time. Pasensya na po, Congressman and Vice Presidential candidate Lito Atienza. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Thank
Pinky,
you.
anytime.
And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.